Welcome back to the Swider Show with Paddy Casey, episode 19. But this week's a little different. Paddy's actually sitting here with me.
Hey
Paddy,
man, put it there.
yeah,
Thanks for having me.
great to see you
Great to
actually
join the show.
in real life, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. This is so different. We're sitting right next to each other.
Very different, very
But
different.
yeah, appreciate you having me out here. We'll get into the whole story and everything. Get into last night.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
then we gotta lead off with Troy.
Yeah,
We just stopped talking to Troy.
you know.
Can't
So
believe how cool dude he is.
yeah, so we had Troy on the podcast for about 40 minutes, and then we had him probably 40 minutes after the
Yeah,
show, just
yeah,
talking to him about everything.
yeah,
And like, I've known this for a while, but it was cool to have these guys just interact with Troy. He's such a class act, great dude, and ultimately just a really good player on the rise, I think.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, for the listeners too. Maybe the best part of my week, Slider, is like the after show type, like just
Yeah,
chopping it up with like guys on the Lakers. Um, but mic difficulties. Screw this in. But yeah, he's the man. Shout out to Troy. Thanks for him coming on. Excited for you guys to hear that, of course. But I mean, the talk of the sports world right now, Swider, I think is what we have to start with LeBron James
yeah,
surpassing Lou Cinder, now Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 38,000, what was it, 38, 38? No, 30, 38, 388.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
yeah. I think so. Yeah, I mean, obviously, unbelievable night. I mean, Patty was there as well. Just the electricity in the building from the start. It was just unbelievable. And then just me being in the locker room, me seeing him pre-game, post-game, and then obviously that moment, it was just so special. I mean, for me, it was probably one of the most memorable moments of my life.
100%.
Um, but just LeBron's always been my favorite player. He's always been a guy that I've kind of like looked up to in the basketball sense, and it was just amazing to be there and dap him up right after he scored that point. I don't know if anyone saw me on TNT, but um, I was right there dapping him
Yeah,
up.
that was big time. It was giant. I was freaking out when I saw it on the Jumbotron. But yeah, we could post that clip. I've said that every week, like, oh, we could post this clip, but actually we'll post that one. Which is actually related to an announcement we have as a show, as we do have a YouTube channel now.
Yes,
The Swider Show has made its way to YouTube now. So
Adam Lewis getting it
Adam
done once
Lewis,
again.
just I mean, he might be the LeBron of producing.
I mean,
The numbers he's putting up.
He's probably like LeBron's rookie year right now.
Yeah,
It's just
100%.
the trajectory that he's going.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, check out the YouTube page. It's just Swider Show, right, Adam?
Yeah,
Say yes
so
or no.
it's
Yes.
called the Cole Swider Show. You could search that on YouTube, or you can go to youtube.com/ it's like the at, like in an email, if you put the at symbol and then Swider Show. So youtube.com/ Swider Show.
So we'll be getting more into the video content here,
for sure, and
which is perfect because we're sitting 2 inches away from each other this week, so we could put this out video wise.
yeah, definitely, man. But yeah, no, overall, I mean, a little quick story about how Patty got out here. So I called my dad last week. I'm like, Dad, like LeBron's gonna break the record most likely on Tuesday. You got to get out here. Like, I'll pay for your flight. I'll pay for your hotel. I don't care. Like, I'm getting you out here. So typical Jeff Swider fashion. He's looking for a friend to go. He couldn't. His best friend from home couldn't go with him. So next thing you know, I get a text from Patty. Patty, just you can explain this.
So yeah, this is how it goes. So last Friday, I'm working, getting ready for the weekend. It was probably about 4 o'clock Eastern. Get a call from Jeff Swider, and we like text about Cole pretty often. We'll watch some games on the YouTube stream. We'll tune in when he's playing against the Nuggets, whatever. So I'm like, oh, he's just calling to check in. My guy Jeff. He's like, Patty, in his deep voice.
Yeah.
Like, Patty, think what if I got you tickets for this game on Tuesday? Think you make your way out to LA? And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I mean, I'm going out. Cole called me, like you said. This is going to be like LeBron has his opportunity to break this record. If you could find your way out, then like the ticket's yours. So I essentially hung up on him, called my mom, figured it out. Next thing you know, like 20 minutes later, I have a round trip flight booked out to LA for this. So, yeah, I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in my life the last 18 months.
Doing something right.
It's just trying to keep like riding coattails here. And I keep fixing my hair and stuff on the YouTube. You can see this on the YouTube. because I got the family.
You got the family pass.
The LA Lakers family room bracelet where I was hanging out last night with Shannon Sharp. So
Yeah, let's talk about that, Paddy.
yeah.
Adam is going to post a little pre-show thing. You guys will see graphic, and
I like how this is starting, because we have maybe the biggest regular season moment in the history of basketball. We're spending the first 10 minutes talking about me. I like that. So yeah, I mean, as you saw in the tunnel last night,
yeah,
being on the court, anyone who tuned in on TNT, like there was just so many celebrities there.
Yeah.
I spot Shannon Sharp early, right before the game, because I was trying to figure out, because the now famed fight that he had with the Grizzlies that we talked about on the show. I was like, which corner does he sit in? So I knew he'd be there.
Yeah.
So I see him. Big fan of Shannon. His clips are fucking hilarious. But yeah, like you said, Jay-Z's there. Denzel was there.
Dwayne Wade.
Who else was there? Dwayne Wade was there. There was one celebrity that they shouted at, and me and Jeff, your dad, didn't recognize. But the crowd went wild.
Oh, yeah, Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny. It was probably Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. The crowd was going crazy.
I know his work. I don't necessarily know what he looks like. So it could have been him. But yeah, I was just walking to the bathroom and just saw like Shannon Sharp. I started freaking out, got a selfie, and that's why it's on the graphic. But
Skip.
Yeah.
Skip.
We actually have, you can't see it here, but on the TV here, me and Swire are going to tune in to some clips this morning from Undisputed from Shannon, because this will probably be a must watch with him and Skip going back and forth about LeBron.
Yeah, not for sure, man. I mean, kind of going. Obviously, Paddy comes to the game. We come out here. We've been chilling, and Paddy's been so gracious and helped me rebound for me in a workout, which was huge. But yeah, man, going into last night, I mean, there was a sense that he was going to break it, but being 36 points away, what do you think going on?
Dude, I think we got to break it down. Like, before the game, first of all, so Swider, as a Lakers player would do, he goes back into the locker room. He didn't necessarily suit up last night, but he still show up early, go back in the locker room.
Yep.
So you shot me a text, like, just probably 25 minutes before the game. Like, how's the atmosphere out there? Wasn't necessarily filled up yet, but you could tell there was like a buzz.
Yeah.
I've never been to a playoff basketball game. It kind of felt like everyone's there for one reason. Everyone's thinking of one thing. So the arena is just like buzzing. Everyone, like, there's crowd in the tunnel, which I'm sure happens for every game. But it's like a little bit more meaningful. And then the next thing you know, the game starts. His intro was awesome. But from the jump, he was just like going for it. You could tell he was like, I'm doing this shit tonight.
I remember just watching him at the beginning, I was like, oh, he wants this.
Yeah.
He wants 100%.
This. Like, he's doing it tonight. Because, I mean, he's 36 away. You're like, oh, he's going to get 36. He's going to try and, like, set it up so it's like a first quarter thing. Yeah. And, yeah, he was just ultra aggressive right from the jump.
I mean, I think only in LeBron fashion he was able to get in the third quarter and like, focus on winning in the fourth quarter. Like, that was probably the most impressive thing about it is, like, he did it. He had his own moment, and then he still had, like, time to, like, focus on winning time.
Yeah. It was, like, I don't know if you could pick a better point in the game for it to happen.
10 seconds left in the third quarter. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
The other thing about what was kind of the reaction? What was the vibe on the court?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, when he scored that basket, like, you can't really describe how it felt in the arena, like, through a video. Like, I've watched the video probably 40 times of him hitting that right shoulder back to the like little fadeaway, which he's done so many times in his career. It's just like routine. But, like, I don't know. For me, like, I just felt like when that happened, everyone has their phones out, everyone's like recording, and then, like, when he makes it, everyone's hands go up, like, all at once, and I feel like a light is just like shining over LeBron, and it's just like
it was like a movie.
And then, like, all the jumbotrons go to the scoring record. Scoring record's broken. Like, it was just a moment that I will never forget from it being, like, obviously I was there in the arena, me being on the team. It was I'm speechless.
Yeah, it was very hard to describe. I feel like that's also our next progression as podcasters, sports podcasters. You hear the Mike Wilbons and, like, Bill Simmons of the world.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, in the arena it was awesome, and you're listening, you're like, well, I wasn't there, but now we get to do that because we were there. So we can brag about being there.
Yeah, exactly.
But so from your standpoint, you executed the dap up perfectly.
Yeah.
But what was your kind of mindset going into that line, thinking I got to get some screen time here? You also was your teammate. It's not like you're a random fan. But
Well,
what was your strategy there? Because you executed very well.
Yeah, well, I go on the court every single time out, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew, I assumed that I would go on the court once the record happened. I saw everyone kind of like rush towards the court, and I just went out like it was kind of like a timeout, and I was just like there, kind of soaking up the moment. He was obviously out there with his family, his wife,
Right.
he had some close friends come out, and Kareem got on the mic, he got on the mic, and it was just like this moment that like it was so powerful. But I was just there, kind of just observing it. Obviously, being a little bit closer than the normal fan, but just kind of observing it. I didn't know that he was going to come over and dap up all of us. And then once we kind of got into that line of him dapping up guys, I was like, all right, let me just
you gotta settle in.
Yeah, not like he was.
Yeah, you're not making it about yourself.
Yeah,
like,
no, not at all. Like, I wasn't trying to make it about myself at all, but I was just like, hey, like, congrats, man. Like we've had conversations, and he's obviously like he probably was looking forward to dapping up AD more than me, but it's still like it was still a great interaction with him, and then obviously he's been so great to me, and it was just an amazing moment for him.
Yeah, the other thing that was cool, Troy mentions this in the interview, but that's maybe the most like human I've ever seen LeBron react to something on the court, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like right after he made it, he like broke down into tears, like had his hands on his ear. You could tell that it just like hit him like an avalanche, like, oh my God, this actually just had like this is an enormous deal. And he almost had a moment, and I feel like he kind of talks about it. He's like, I can't believe that this is happening. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
I think the craziest thing about it is that like you talked about a little bit on the podcast with Troy, but LeBron's not known to be a scorer, and I don't think he ever planned for this to be like one of the things that he achieved, which is even crazier because it's like naturally he's the guy who makes the right play all the time, right? Like he can score the basketball, he can pass, he can rebound, like he gets triple doubles, he does all these things, and then for him to get that record, just for like especially over the past 2 years, being able to evolve his game from being a shooter, like averaging 30 points a game the past 2 years, has just been like an unbelievable way of changing his game. And he talks about it all the time. It's like I think what makes me the greatest of all time, and I'm picking myself, is just how I've changed my game from 2003 being mostly an athletic driving force to now he can score any level of the court, all three levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just like reinvents himself in this way. That's ridiculous. It was also very cool in the lead up to it. I mean, you guys are all NBA players and all athletes are so like well media trained, and especially now you're trained to say stuff that's I don't know. There's a lot of cliches that are going around. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like, oh, this is just another game, whatever. Like he was very open about being like, this definitely means a lot. You know what I mean? Like this is an enormous deal. It's a massive accomplishment. He's worked literally his entire life for it. So I thought it was very cool how he didn't really back down or shy away from like this is a really big moment. And you could tell last night it wasn't another game from the jump.
Well, obviously, like just from the fan and media perspective, like it wasn't right. People are paying $100,000 just to get into the building. And I think one of the coolest parts about it is that after he has a scoring record, he sits back down. We're talking a little bit like after the third quarter, and they have kids from his I Promise school have videos awesome. For him. His kids have videos for him. Like the president has videos for him. Like it was just such a cool way of. The Lakers did a great job.
Yeah, the production of it was unbelievable.
NBA did a great job. Adam Silver was there. He was kind of heading the whole thing.
It was just cool. It was like he's like undisputed the best player of his generation, of our generation. We literally grew up watching him. It was like this coronation of okay, even if you're a LeBron hater, it's like this is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, like
you're celebrating this guy's accomplishments. Been around for 20 years. Like all the hype, it's all been talked about on every platform ever, but it's just that was unbelievable. Thank you again for allowing me to be in attendance.
No, man.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. But other than that, pretty like eventful week for the NBA in a lot of ways. Trade deadline going on. standings are moving around. What's kind of like your guys' mindset this week, moving forward, everything?
Yeah, I think Troy had a great answer. Like at the end of the day, it is a business, and that's we do get paid to play, but there is a human aspect of it as well, right? Like at the end of the day, like people have to move their whole entire lives somewhere else. Some guys have families, some guys have wives and kids in school systems. So it's this week is one that, like, for example, like Kendrick Nunn gets traded 2 weeks ago. Like I'm cool with Kendrick, right? Like I think I owe him some money or something like that from shoot. Like there's just things that happen from just like over time, just creating relationships, and trades happen. It's part of the business. Like guys move on, and I think it's just such a part of the business that I haven't experienced it yet, but
Right.
it's a part of the NBA, and Troy explained it great. Like he's talked about different guys, and more so a post show, but he talked about different guys getting traded in just situations, and situations happen in the NBA all the time.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to brace yourself for it especially when this time of the year comes around.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very exciting week for
The fans.
but at the end of the day, you're human beings. It's kind of uprooting a lot of people's day-to-day lives. So obviously, I have to be sensitive towards that. The other thing, I will also be in attendance tomorrow at your G League game.
Yeah, it's
Ontario.
Pretty similar event in terms of the crowd, the meaning.
The atmosphere.
Yeah, the South Bay Lakers will be taking on.
Yep. Yeah.
Be taking on the Ontario Clippers. So, yep. If anyone can tune into the game, it's actually at 11 a.m. PST.
Yeah. Can you explain to people why? Because when I was making my way out here, I wasn't necessarily disappointed that if he didn't get it last night, then you have a game Thursday night. I just assumed it was Thursday night.
Yeah.
But then you texted me that the game was at 11 a.m. I was like, oh, best of both worlds.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
So you could see LeBron, but I mean, he took care of it last night, so you don't have to worry about it. But
yeah, exactly.
There's actually a cool reason. Explain why it's at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, well, the G League, as you guys have seen, well, if you guys have watched any of our games, they like to not invent rules, or not like they like to be creative. I think that's the right word. So, like for example, we have different colored jerseys.
They experiment with things.
Right. Our overtime's different.
The free throws
are different. So they had an elementary school. Like what a lot of these G League teams do to increase attendance is that they have elementary school games or middle school games where they literally bring in 1,000 to 2,000 elementary school kids from multiple towns, and have them fill up the arena, and then they go crazy. They're screaming, yelling, and then they get autographs from the guys afterwards. So yeah, we'll be playing in one of those games tomorrow against Ontario. Ontario actually has a pretty big arena. It probably holds around 6,000. So yeah, man, we just had a tough game against them last time, but we're looking forward to getting back out there and playing against them tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
think about that. Tomorrow morning, huh? Insane. Not even afternoon, morning.
A morning game. When's the last time you played a morning game?
It's probably just like AAU.
I guess if you're doing like time differences, but like it's Pacific time, 11 a.m. You know what I mean?
I think I played one game at 11 a.m.
Like there's sometimes
against
Kansas. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'd be 11 a.m. their time.
Yeah,
but
noon
Eastern. ESPN.
Yeah, Villanova at Kansas.
Of course. Yeah. You guys lost that game, no?
Yeah, it was a close one. Phil Booth went off.
Yeah.
Eric Pascal had a good game.
Yeah, Did you guys lose to them at Wells Fargo?
No, we beat them.
And Christian Brown was like talking shit.
Yeah.
I love that.
Great. That was kind of like the first game Christian Brown.
Yeah, I think he had like 11 points, but it was the loudest 11 ever.
It was all in the second half.
Yeah,
I think a couple guys got in foul trouble, and that was like the first time where he kind of.
He'll be on the pod.
Yeah, we'll get him on the pod.
Guaranteed.
We'll get him on the pod. Yeah.
That's actually peek behind the scenes here. I visited Swider. Actually, I'm not going to go into that. That'd be ungrateful. I was going to say, because when you went to Denver and you played like 28 minutes, we were like, oh, let's get a pod. And you're like, oh, I didn't bring my mic. I travel with my mic everywhere.
Hey, man, I was focused.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
I was focused.
Yeah, that is fair.
Also, one of the things about being a two-way that I think a lot of people don't realize is that I was kind of – they told me I was going to Sacramento, but they didn't tell me I was going to Denver. So,
really?
Yeah, so like they were like, oh, you're going to head back and play in the G League game. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, I'm not even headed to
Yeah,
Denver.
you're packing for one night.
So then LeBron basically says he's like LeBron decides not to play, and I'm on the trip.
Wow.
So me and Scotty get to go. So it's a part of it. It's a part of those
What's
things.
the packing scenario there? Are you even
Oh, I'm
factor
overpacking.
in Denver?
I'm
Okay.
overpacking, yeah, big time.
What about
Big
this
time.
guy here? Is this team issued, or is that G League bought? Like, are
Oh
you
no,
buying
this
yourself?
this is team issued.
Oh, okay.
Team
All right.
issued. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we're talking about a
Yeah,
suitcase that
very
hasn't been
normal
unpacked
looking
yet.
suitcase. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, the other thing about the situation here, Residence Inn is beautiful.
Wow.
El Segundo, LAX Residence Inn.
Yeah, it gets the job done.
Swider's got his room looking real homey. Yeah. So, but moving away from basketball,
Yep.
this is also Super Bowl week. And not many basketball podcasts can say they've had a Super Bowl participant on their podcast. Noah Gray of the Kansas City Chiefs, friend of the show. The reason I wasn't on that interview is because I knew they would play the Eagles, and I can't root for him now because I didn't talk to him.
I mean, you could talk about a future that you put on a while ago, huh?
Oh yeah, I think I brought that up. Yeah, that hit.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep. Congrats, man.
Yeah, it's been funding some of my trip out here, even though I've spent no money. But yeah, I mean, what do you got? What are your expectations for the big game, as they say?
Yeah, man. I think not to put shame on the Eagles, but I think they've had the easiest path to the Super Bowl that you could probably ever.
That's pretty
have.
classic.
No, like Daniel Jones, and then
no, that's fair from Patriots fan because God knows when Brady was there for 15 years, the AFC East was real tough.
And then the fourth string quarterback on San Francisco.
Well, I mean, Brady shouldn't have gotten hurt, or he should have kept playing.
It's all good, man. I mean, everyone can have cupcakes to get to the Super Bowl, but
we'll see.
But yeah,
I'm
excited.
What's your prediction?
I'm gonna go 34-28 Chiefs.
All right, that's a shootout.
Noah Gray touchdown first quarter. Noah comes home with the Super Bowl, and then we have a nice Instagram post.
All right, I'll go Eagles 2-0 final.
What? 2-0? Come on.
I'll say Eagles 31-20. Jalen Hurts MVP. Easy.
I'm gonna say that the Philadelphia Eagles win, and I'm gonna say of a score 28-19.
19? How are they getting to 19?
We'll
They're playing football at him. You know that.
4 field goals and a touchdown.
Okay, that's fair.
We'll see, Paddy. I don't make the rules.
They'll
get there somehow.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, shout out Noah. Wish him the best of luck. Obviously, from 8th grade AAU teammates to playing in the Super Bowl, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty amazing.
Yep.
When you see the biggest moment in the NBA, he plays in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. But the last thing we got here on the agenda, Swider, is your announcement of going to Cuse next week. I don't know if you want to touch on that a little bit. Tell the people you'll be out there.
Yeah, so for All-Star break, I'll be in attendance for the Duke Syracuse game. I'm really excited to head out to the Cuse, be back home for a little bit. And yeah, man, just super excited to get out there and witness a really good college basketball game. I got the Cuse winning that one, no surprise. And good luck to Syracuse tonight as they play Florida State.
When does that start? A couple hours?
No,
we're on
probably 15 minutes.
Starting in 15 minutes. I got the alert. Pacific time. It sneaks up on you.
Oh, it does. How great is it?
It really is nice. It's very nice. It's like I've been working 6 to 2 every day, but I mean, you're done at 2. Yeah. Also, it makes you wonder why you live in the Northeast. And I know a lot of our audience, we love Syracuse, New York more than anything. But I mean, the weather out here is it's like something out of a movie.
Yeah. And I would say, like, Adam did send us some stats recently of our podcast listeners, and Syracuse is leading the charts.
Yeah, it's number 1.
So shout out to Syracuse. You guys are always loyal. You guys are the best. I think the best fans in college basketball.
100%.
And yeah, just shout out to Syracuse. Shout out to Syracuse University and go Orange.
Go Orange. I have the list here. Phoenix snuck in the top 10. So we got a real
how about that, Phoenix?
Shout out Phoenix. We got a nice presence in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know if I know anyone who's ever stepped foot in Phoenix, but but they're tuning in to hear us. So yeah, we appreciate it. But
Hey, just one last thing about those stats. Where does Scranton fall in the
oh, they're
statistics?
there. They're actually cropped out. Syracuse is number 2. Scranton's 1.
No, it's not.
No, that's completely made up. Scranton's not in. I was surprised to see that.
I was surprised too.
You know what? I got a lot of family members. I don't know if they know how to download. So I'm gonna have to show them how to do that.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
fair.
But yeah, all the listeners, we are now the Cole Swider Show, brought to you by Blue Wire. So make sure you download every week. You're not just listening, because downloads are very valuable and we appreciate them very much.
Yeah. As always, thank you guys for listening to this week's episode. Find us at Swider Show on Instagram, Twitter, at swidershow@gmail.com to email us questions. And yeah, we had a great interview with Troy. Really looking forward to you guys listening to the interview. And yeah, man, see you guys on the other side.